In this video, I'm going to talk about microtransactions in games, who is affected, and how this became an international trend and an issue in the game industry. But first things first, what are microtransactions? As mentioned in the article Effects of Microtransactions in the Video Game Industry by Tomic 2017, during the first 2 decades, the dominant model of earning for video game developers was sale of a full game, which means that users were obligated to pay in order to play the game, introducing the pay-to-play concept. Most of games have a main character, which usually is controlled by the player with clothes, weapons, or any accessory related to the theme of the game, and missions leading the character into the narrative, developing character skills and achieving some point marks of the game where usually the player gets a reward. The fun of playing some games are exactly fight to unlock the achievements and get these rewards, which could be items, clothes, or game currency that you can use to buy or unlock these items. It's all about personalization, changing your character clothes, power-ups, weapons, until you feel that the character has an identification with you. Games usually have 2 types of currency. One is the premium money, like gems or crystals, gold, or any icon that refers to the genre of the game and usually requires more effort from players to get them in the game. The other one is the in-game money that can be coins, credits, or cash, and it's easier to get through the game's quests. Both types allow you to buy items, levels, or characters in the game, but better items will always require the premium currency. One other way of unlocking these items is through loot boxes, which look like a surprise gift box that you get with achievements. It brings you random items to be used in the game, but as they are random, you can get lucky and open 1 or 2 boxes and get a good item, or you can open 10 boxes and get only useless items. Then, in the past years, publishers started to offer the opportunity of buying these loot boxes with real money. At the moment you open this opportunity of buying loot boxes, the game becomes unbalanced for players, as not everyone can afford to buy better items that considerably help in the gameplay. Also, you can spend £10 to open these 2 boxes and get something good, or spend £100 and get nothing useful at all, similar to how machines in casinos work. And here we start to understand the pay-to-win concept. Thus, if you pay with real money to get loot boxes or game currency, you pass through these difficulties ignoring some challenges of the game, although buying loot boxes raises the chance of getting rare or legendary items with better performance than ordinary items. In the same way, cheats can break the fun of being tested by these challenges and the narrative of the game. This became present in almost every game, but would this be a strategy of companies to raise their income? Playing with the psychological feelings and human behavior when we win a gift, a mystery box, the surprise elements makes us feel happy, forcing our brain to say, I want more. This anxiety of buying them and get random content has been linked to the psychological sensation one feels when gambling.
I always saw gambling as you lose money when you gamble, but you may win money. There's a small chance you're gonna make a lot of money. And in cell phone games, in loot boxes, be in cell phone games, be PC, be console, doesn't matter. You never make any money. So there isn't even a small chance that you're gonna make some money. They're just trying to compare to gambling because you don't always get what you want. When we play RPGs, for example, you open a chest and oh, it's not the weapon I wanted. It's you spend money with games, you bought the game, but maybe no, what you want, it's not coming to you. That's fine, that's part of the game. I think it's very different from spending money in a casino, for example, and your money just goes away. And Brazilians, for example, they spend around $40 a month with Clash Royale.
Wow.
That's a lot of money. That's more than Netflix. Netflix is a big corporation.
And following the explanation in the video from Wendover Productions, The Magic Economics of Gambling, Sam compares the strategy behind slot machines with surveys through hundreds of people that used to gamble, concluding that the fear of loss is bigger than the promise of win. In games, when the player expects some specific reward, and this doesn't pop up in the box, they tend to feel anxious and open new crates until get that item. This link to gambling in games has become a problem in some countries, specifically in Belgium, which declared loot box illegal. As mentioned before, his is an explanation from BBC covering the decision of Belgian Gaming Commission of considering loot boxes being in violation of gambling legislation, warning games companies the risk of a fine and a prison sentence that can be doubled if minors are involved. In the opposite side, the UK and US regulations don't see loot boxes as gambling. A contact from BBC has been made to Electronic Arts Sports, which has welcomed the dialogue with Minister Geens, explaining that their games don't have any relation to gambling and are implemented ethically and with responsibility worldwide. 4 games were investigated by Belgian Gaming Commission: FIFA 2018, Overwatch, Counter-Strike, and Star Wars Battlefront 2, which was the only one was not considered in violation, as Electronic Arts halted microtransactions after negative feedback from the audience. A term that King and Delfabbro used in their article is the predatory monetization, seeing this situation as a scheme in video games. They also state that Blizzard Entertainment has made around $4 billion, or more than half its annual income in 2017, from microtransactions. To explain the scheme or exploratory system considered predatory monetization, the authors cite a situation where players are encouraged to spend money in order to make progress in the game, what they call paywall. Moreover, the schemes can involve manipulation of rewards to reinforce purchases behavior, and even the collection of data from players to manipulate offers and calculate the likelihood of purchase. All of these affect the reputation of a company. As a game artist and possible CEO in the future, it's essential to understand this issue to ensure the best connection and feedback from my future audience. To reinforce this, I have asked a point of view from a developer in the game industry.
Well, I think as far as cell phones go, microtransactions are fine. I think if you're playing a cell phone and you want to get something more out of a game, you should be able to spend some money, get a little ahead in the game. It's fine, but I don't think microtransactions should come to a console like we saw in Battlefront 2, for example, or PC gaming. Microtransactions need to stay away from these games because the gamer community is really angry, is really mad about microtransactions coming to PC and console. Yeah, it's not just about pay to win, because we come from a place where you spend money, you get your game, and you play your game. You don't have to spend any more money to play your game. DLCs, for example, they already made people a little bit angry about having to spend more money to play other sections of the game. But gamers accepted DLC, it's part of the industry, fine, we'll buy the DLCs. But I think microtransactions is stepping over the lines in PC and console again. I think in cell phones it's fine. Cell phone gamers are used to microtransactions anyway.